sorry Rooney, we know that we're paying you 300 grand a week, but we're going to give him 400 for this year. But I guarantee you, he's probably going to give us a title. So just, don't kick off about it. Spot on, mate. Hello there and welcome back to the Squirrel Heed YouTube channel. We're going to get straight into this one. This is Transfer Talk number 3. It's going to be a bit more of we're going to focus on some Liverpool news, and then we'll have a look at some Premier League news as well, as obviously there's been some big ones that we can't ignore in the Premier League. But first off, let's have a look at the Liverpool news. Starting off with the This Is Anfield website. Transfer news concerning Benteke, Skrtel, Meyer and Amavi. Benteke, apparently Chelsea, if they don't get if they fail to re-sign Lukaku, they're going to try and go for Benteke. Dangerous is what I would say. I strongly believe that if we give enough time to Benteke, if we give another, let's break it down. Like he went from having to play under I think 2 different managers the season before at Aston Villa. Ended up with Tim Sherwood, who got him scoring goals, and then he comes over and he has to come and play with Brendan Rodgers. Came in late in the transfer window, a long period of adjustment, which then could have been unsettled by the way that Jurgen Klopp plays. So within the time frame of a year, he's had to adjust to 4 different manager styles of play. I know what people think, that top class players should just be able to adapt to any situation, but some don't, and some take time. I believe if we give him time, he will come good. If we sell him to someone else, we've got the chance that what normally happens when Liverpool sell a player is they become good somewhere else, and that's what I don't want to happen. We've spent 32.5 million on him. We need to give him another chance. There's also apparently he could end up going to Juventus as a replacement for Alvaro Morata. I would actually see him more as a replacement for Mario Mandzukic if Mandzukic decided to leave. I would prefer for him to stay. I think if Juventus came in for him, yes, I think he would definitely go, but I'm unsure. I think if Chelsea came in with a big offer, maybe, but my personal opinion is I want him to stay. Now apparently we've been linked with another left back, which is Amavi from Aston Villa. I don't understand, because yes, Alberto Moreno is awful, everyone knows my opinion of him, but with the defenders that we're bringing in, yes, we might have Skrtel leaving, I'll come on to that one as well. Sakho hopefully coming back in after his whole ban situation being cleared up by the looks of it. Got Joel Matip coming in, got Dejan Lovren. We've got good centre backs, and then we've got Joe Gomez, who was awesome at left back last season. I don't want to take someone who has just been relegated very, very comfortably with Aston Villa in a team that had no fight whatsoever. They had absolutely no fight whatsoever. Now apparently we've already contacted him ahead. 22-year-old missed much of last season to cruciate ligament injury, and this report claims AC Milan and Lyon are. That's cool. That's awesome that these people are linked with them. But at the end of the day, what has he contributed? Even if he's another youngster, and I know we're primarily going for youngsters. Alberto Moreno himself isn't that old. He's quite young, actually, I would say. I would prefer for it not to happen, and for us to maybe be able to because with the defenders we're bringing in, I don't see Joe Gomez being able to play in his preferred position as centre back, but I do see him having a place in the team at left back, and that's what I think should happen. I don't want this one to happen, but could it happen? Most likely, because of the position that we're in. We can't offer any European football. Who else is going to be out for him in particular, and who else could we get that's better than that? We'll come on to another one just later, a little bit later. Sign all the Germans. Max Meyer. Now I've heard this name bandied about a little bit in recent times. Obviously we're going to be linked with quite a few German players, I would say, obviously because of who is our manager, Jurgen Klopp. He's been speaking out about a move to England at some point in his career. If he ever left Schalke, he wants to come and play and move in England. He's known as one of the best young talents. But again, this just seems like rumour. I'm not entirely sure whether anything will come of it. I think teams above us, I think they're kind of sorted in that department. So I think maybe we could. But are we going to end up going in like we did a couple of years ago with one of the youngest squads in the Premier League? And is that going to hurt us? Who knows? But I'll wait and see what happens on that one. I don't know the player apart from any time I've maybe used him on FIFA a little bit, but and that doesn't hold up to anything. It's FIFA, it's a game at the end of the day. But no, we'll hold off on that one. But you know, one of the best young talents in Europe. Okay, I've known a few that have been called the best young talents in Europe, and they've not really amounted to much. Moving on to Skrtel, Turkish champions Besiktas have tabled a 7 million offer for out-of-favour defender Skrtel. 7 million for an 31-year-old out-of-favour centre-back. 7 million, as it says here, 7 million would be good business. I did love Skrtel, like 2 years ago when we had the 13-14 season. He was quite good, but we still had a leaky defence back then. I think obviously, as it's saying here, like I've said already, we've got Lovren and Toure, we've got Sakho. Lucas was even taking his position while he was sat on the bench sometimes when he wasn't injured. Lucas was getting in front of him. Lucas. So I think that says all you need to know about Skrtel right now. I think he is going to fall right out of favour. He didn't have very good performances at the end of the season. I think obviously with Joel Matip coming in, Gomez coming back from injury, I do think he'll go. 7 million? Yeah, I would absolutely take that for Skrtel, because I don't think, what else would you get for him apart from letting him go out on a free or sit him on the bench for a year? I don't see it. I would see it. As I say, I loved Skrtel. That partnership of Skrtel and Agger it's very memorable. I remember saying at the time when Agger was sold, out of the two, I would have sold Skrtel and I would have kept Agger, because Agger just has Liverpool running through his veins, and I would take him back as well. But there we are. I can see that deal happening. I can see Skrtel leaving this summer. Scroll back up the top and see. So, one of the other rumours that I keep hearing as well, and I will come on to one of the other ones that is there as well, is Jonas Hector from Cologne, FC Cologne for the German. Apparently, we're in talks after agreeing a fee with Jonas Hector. Again, totally honest as I always am with these videos, I don't know a great deal about the guy. That's even a lie right there. I don't know anything about the guy. I really don't. Apparently he's been reported to be available for around 12 million. Cologne themselves have been readying for his departure with another signing of a left back in January. So, apparently we are the front runners among the interested clubs. Who are the interested clubs? Liverpool front runners, dubbed as Mr. Reliable. Well, that could be something that Liverpool definitely needs. You know, yeah, Hector won the Cologne Fans Player of the Year, rare for a fullback, scored his first goal for the country against Italy, and has 13 caps so far for Joachim Löw's side. That's pretty impressive actually, because that Germany side, take away their friendlies and stuff, look at that World Cup run that they had. That's impressive to be able to get into that side. He's the first choice there and probably scouted. Hector would become the second German and third player from the Bundesliga, following Loris Karius and Joel Matip. We have apparently also on that one had a bid for Schalke winger Leroy Sané, rejected, and are considering whether to make a second bid for the 20-year-old. I would make a second bid for the 20-year-old. He's young, he's got a lot of pace, he's got a lot of skill, he's got a lot of talent, and he could be a very talented player, a very good player in a good couple of years under a very good manager as well. But that's just my quick thoughts on that one as well. Now, the big one for us, Coutinho claims he misses winning cups amidst reported PSG interest. Right, this pisses me off a little bit because it annoys me. Right, it annoys me because he was in cup runs that we had. I miss winning cups. Copa America is another opportunity for me because every player dreams of winning cups. He's 23 years old. Every single time we have a final, Coutinho goes missing. And I can say that quite honestly, because every time we've been in a cup final, which hasn't been a lot, I'm probably mainly looking at the two that we were in this season, the Capital One Cup final with Man City and the Europa League final capitulation fucking screw job that was the Europa League final. Every single time he went missing. Firmino has been outperforming Coutinho. he is the little magician. He is an awesome player. However, when it comes to the very, very big games and turning it on, turning the screws, making sure that we're going to make it, or at least be much more competitive than we were, especially in the Europa League match, he goes missing. He goes missing. He's making these off-the-cuff phrases like he misses winning cups. He had the opportunity to win cups, but he didn't take them. He had players around him, and it's not just him in our team either. It really isn't. It's just because he is now, after Suarez left, and obviously after Gerrard left last year, he is our star player that we look to now. And I look at him as, on his day, very, very good. He's almost untouchable in our squad. I would say he's up there sometimes with Sturridge. When Sturridge is on fire, he's up there on that level. But when he's not on form, it's like you're playing with 10 men. And you've got someone like Firmino coming into this league just this year. Didn't have a good start to the season, but he played influential. It just annoys me. He played a lot better than Coutinho in. Like, I would say, if you averaged it out over a season, that Firmino played better than Coutinho did this year. And I don't want to see the lad go. I want to see him progress with our team. But if he doesn't want to be with us, and this obviously goes to any of Liverpool's players, if he doesn't want to be with Liverpool, go. Because if you don't want to be there, you're just going to end up being a virus sat on the bench or sat in the club room. Anything like that, you're just going to be a virus, unsettling other players and all this sort of stuff. They've now then obviously linked themselves with Coutinho, which makes sense, kind of, but obviously you've got Di Maria in the position that he would play. I know he's been shifted out to right wing as well, but Di Maria primarily is a provider. He's an attacking mid. Then how do you get Coutinho to come in and slot in alongside someone who was a man of the match in a Champions League final with Real Madrid not too many years ago, and is still putting in key performances for a team like PSG, who won the title? I mean, is it he's wanting to go to somewhere like PSG because he doesn't want to put the work in that is required to win a Premier League title, that commitment, the high level of performance, and he's wanting to go to the French league so that he can say that he's won a lot of trophies? Man, then everybody would do that. There's reasons why people come to the Premier League, because it's the most competitive league. It's not the highest quality league at all. The highest quality league for me is La Liga, because it's got the best players in it all over the place. We have some in the Premier League, some marquee signings, but they have whole teams that have best players in each of their positions. Like, the Premier League is very, very competitive. That is why it's appealing to players to come over and play, whether they're going to play in the Champions League, Europa League, or if they're just going to play in domestic cups. That's why it's appealing. If he's wanting to go, then I would try quite hard to get him to stay, but if admittedly he wants to go, let him go, and we can hopefully, Firmino can take in that role quite well. It just annoys me, when players go out and say that. I miss winning cups, like it should just be a given and he doesn't have to work hard for it. It annoys me, really annoys me, and that's pissed me off. He's the type of player I never thought would come out and do stuff like that. But there you go, that's football, innit? Young footballers with a lot of money. What can you say? What else can you say? Now, obviously, the biggest news in the Premier League right now is one that I kind of regret saying now, because I remember saying, I don't think I've said it on YouTube, but I think I said it to mates and things like that, that I would love to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic in the Premier League, no matter who he signs for. Completely not thinking that Man United would actually ever go and sign him. And then obviously you had Mourinho, who's just signed with Man United, and these two have a really, really close friendship. So that made me worry, and then obviously the news broke the other day that Ibrahimovic has agreed personal terms with Man United for a 1-year deal. So let's read through. Apparently they've reached a deal over the Swede's salary. It's hinging on talks with the striker and the club's new manager. Now, if they've got such a friendship that they claim to have, which I fully believe they do from all the quotes they've said about each other over the past couple of years, it's a free transfer, first of all. So whatever you get, whatever you're going to pay him in wages, you're just going to pay him, because you're getting him on a free. If you had to buy Ibrahimovic, you'd be looking upwards of 60, 70 mil. You'd be looking in that Luis Suarez range. They're getting him for free. So you just pay him whatever you can afford. And it's Man United. If they could probably go, right, sorry Rooney, we know that we're paying you 300 grand a week, but we're going to give him 400 for this year. But I guarantee you, he's probably going to give us a title. So just, you know, don't kick off about it. Spot on, mate. That is exactly what you'll get with Ibrahimovic going there. Now, apparently, he's not interested in being a backup striker. Why would he? He's one of the best strikers in the world, even though, yes, he's performing in the French league, but he's done it in every league he's ever been to, and he's going to do it. He could do it in the Premier League, you know. Apparently Tottenham are among clubs that have expressed interest in signing the Swede, but he's let them know that United are the only Premier League club that he's interested in signing for. Why? Is it the club? If it was Van Gaal still there, I don't think he would be there, but because it's Mourinho, even if it was Alex Ferguson and Mourinho, I think he would have signed for. Devastating blow to everybody else, not like Liverpool or anything like that, because I don't mean it in that way. I mean it's a devastating blow because he is going to deliver so many devastating blows to the Premier League. Like, I think people are underestimating Zlatan because he's been over in France, been at PSG for quite a few years. Not the most competitive league ever, probably the least competitive league outside of the top European leagues. But I think he's going to provide so well. You look at their attacking, just include Ibrahimovic alongside Wayne Rooney and Anthony Martial. Just even between those two, never mind the fact that they've got a young lad called Rashford coming through their ranks who's scoring goals for fun, can score anywhere, can score with anybody, including England. Their attacking potential is going to be unreal. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable with Ibrahimovic in that team. So apparently they're looking at getting the deal done before the Euros start. Don't know if that will be able to happen or not. Apparently he's looking only for a salary of 220 grand a week. He still needs reassurances from Mourinho that he'll be an important player next season in order to join. I think he'll be their most important. You can't bring in someone like Ibrahimovic and just go, yo mate, right, we're gonna bring you on, but you're gonna be on the bench. You're gonna be like an impact striker. No, you don't do that with Ibrahimovic. You just don't. You look at that personality he's got. Yeah, sometimes he's an arse, but I really like his personality because he's so honest. He's so honest. It's unbelievable and it's refreshing for a football player. Like when all the newspaper articles were writing rumours and stuff about where he was going to go. Was he going to go to Tottenham? Was he going to retire? Was he going to go to the MLS? Or was he going to go to United? And he got asked it in a press conference or something, and he just turned around and just went, I'll let you write your stories. I'll tell you when I'm bored where I'm going. And that's just class. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And I think he will be, taking bias out of it, obviously from Liverpool, I think he's going to be an absolute asset. He's going to be like that Eric Cantona signing for Man United. And I think he will devastate the Premier League and other competitions that he'll be in as well. Europa League. They're going to have a 6'5" forward who's got good skills, bang a goal in anywhere off the pitch, and I would say anywhere, especially after his stuff he's done against like the England team, he's done over in Paris. He can bang a goal in anywhere. He's going to be an absolutely devastating force in the Premier League, guarantee it. The other transfer rumour is that apparently Arsenal are trying to get Jamie Vardy over to Arsenal, which this type of signing for Arsenal is just years overdue. Like, it's absolutely massive. Like, in fact, let's go to this article because this is probably going to have the actual. So they triggered his release clause, which was only 22 million. Now, you remember back in the day when Arsenal sold Robin van Persie to Man United, they only cost 20 million. And yet you've got someone here who is 22 million, who's just become top scorer in the league. He's become one of the top scorers just behind Harry Kane. And he won the Premier League with Leicester. Now you put him in a team where he could perhaps have like Mesut Ozil providing him, or you can have Santi Cazorla, whoever's going to be on the wings next year if you're going to have Oxlade-Chamberlain, Granit Xhaka as well, however you say his name. Sounds like a pepper shaker. You know, it says that Arsene Wenger is desperate to bring attacking reinforcement to the Emirates after a frustrating season for the likes of Giroud and Welbeck. But he would have known that from previous years. How can you not know that Giroud is not your stand-up striker? It just isn't your stand-up striker. He's going to do you an okay job. He can come in and fill a spot. But then you got Welbeck as well, who is injury prone. Very, very good, and I would say he'd be going to the Euros above Sturridge if he was still fit, but he can't stay fit. This has been something that Wenger and Arsenal fans have been crying out for years. Something that's actually dead serious, like as serious. They've got Sanchez, they've got Ozil, now they've got the midfield, they've got the wings, generally with Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott, depending on who's going to play, and now you've got the striker. If they can get Vardy, if they can get Jamie Vardy, then you've got the striker, who is going to be their focal point. Could end up it would be unreal. It's unreal that it's taken this long for Arsene Wenger to actually discover, oh, I need a striker who can actually score goals on a regular basis and not get injured. Not like Giroud, who had upwards of 15 plus games without a goal in the Premier League or something like that last year. This makes complete sense for Arsenal. It wouldn't make sense from a Leicester point of view to get rid of him. I really wouldn't. And I don't know whether they will. I think Claudio Ranieri is strong enough in his mindset, in the way he's set about doing the Premier League this year. I don't think that he'll get rid of him. I think it's going to take... Yeah, they've met his release clause, but they're really going to have to... I think they're really going to have to barter over whether is Arsenal... Like, people are saying that Arsenal are this elite club, and they are. They're in the Champions League 20 years in a row, but they haven't... They don't promise you stuff like winning trophies and stuff. Yes, they won the FA Cup in the last 2 seasons, not this one just gone 2 seasons prior. But what is it about this elite club mentality that since Leicester have come along that people are still belittling their accomplishment in the league by saying that this could be Jamie Vardy's last chance at getting to an elite club because he's going to be 30 years old or something like that, or whatever he's going to be, 29, 30. And I'm thinking, who cares? The elite clubs for years have not been performing like Arsenal, like Liverpool. We can't even consider ourselves an elite club anymore, even with our history, because history is history. What are we doing right now? That is what it's all about. Leicester are doing it right now. They're making their reinforcements. Why are they then going to sell their top goal scorer? You know, I'm surprised no one's actually talking about signing Mahrez, because it's beyond me that no one has even tried to, because he was absolutely fantastic as well. But these two together are an absolute unit, and they're vital to Leicester. And if they can back that up with all the signs that they're going to make, what does it matter if Arsenal have been this like top 4 club for years? It doesn't matter, because they haven't been able to win the Premier League since friggin' Thierry Henry was there, or whenever it was. I think maybe 2006 or something, 2005, whenever they won the league last. Can't remember. Doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me that Vardy is at Leicester, because I think that they could still do it next year. I really do, and I think people are sleeping on them in the Champions League as well. Or they could get drawn against like Real Madrid. Well, so what? Give it a go. Doesn't mean you have to be scared, does it? But people need to stop belittling what Leicester have done, because what they've done is absolutely unbelievable. Should Arsenal go for him? Absolutely. But Jamie Vardy, I would say, needs to stay at Leicester. Be that loyal guy that ends his career and brings this club up from almost relegation and brings them up and they win the Premier League. It's a story that you just can't believe. Can you imagine if they went and did it again next year? With like Pep Guardiola at Man City, with Mourinho at Man United, with Wenger still clinging to his job at Arsenal? Can you imagine? It'd be unreal. Be unreal. If I was Vardy, I'd be wanting to stay at Leicester. I really would be. But we'll see what happens with that one. I'm just reading through some headlines. Apparently Man City ended their interest in Paul Pogba. Stupid idea. Paul Pogba is one of the best midfielders in the world right now, if not outside of the likes of Iniesta and that. Actually, I'd say he's in that bracket. He's one of the best in the world. I think the last one that I'm going to talk about here is Gundogan signs for City. I don't actually know if that's how you say it. I heard like Gundogan and stuff like that. I'm going to say Gundogan because that's what I'm seeing here. Has signed for Manchester City for, I believe it was about £21 million, which, take away his injury record, very, very good signing. Unbelievable signing. Very, very good. Exactly what these guys need. He's a proficient midfielder. He can play anywhere in the middle of the park. And I think, looking at it, this could be the exact perfect replacement if Yaya Toure decides to leave. He's going to be box to box. He'll be going all over the place up top, supporting that defence, going out wide, controlling that middle of the park. That's what he's good at when he's fit. Now that's the only thing that I do have to say, is that it's when he's fit. If we have a look here, a back injury kept him sidelined for the majority of the 2013-14 season, but he returned to have an excellent campaign. As I was saying, with regards to the injuries that he had on the Man City website, now it fails to mention that he's been out before 403 days with apparently injury of compression of his spinal cord and stuff like that. He does have a history of having some unbelievable injuries, and I don't mean good ones. Obviously he's got quite a big injury record just looking here. And then if we move on to the other one, which is the one that he's recovering from now, he's apparently due out until the 12th of September. So he will have been out since last month and up until September. So he's out for about 4 months with a dislocation of the patella. He's got obviously quite a few different injuries. Some of them aren't, obviously he's had a cold here and there. Is he going to come in, totally hit the ground running, become that central midfielder that they need, like that Man City really, really need? But that's gonna dislodge Yaya Toure, and they can move him on, send him on his way, send him on his birthday, and send him out with a cake with a file on it so he can get out of there. And is he going to be able to come in and just be that midfield heart, kind of like what Kompany is in the defence, that rock that Man City need? Or is he going to come into the physicality of the Premier League, and is he going to suffer more injuries? Nobody could say. All I can say is it's a great signing by Man City, and I think that actually he will do good for them. I can't say anything else, I have to be honest. He could be devastating, but very good business by Man City and a very big sign of intent moving forward for Pep Guardiola. That's all I've got today for Transfer Talk. If you're liking the series of Transfer Talk, drop the video a like, subscribe for more of course. If there's anything that I might miss, drop it in the comments below. I'll see what I can do with it. I'll catch you later.